This is SME On Point. Thank you so much for staying with SABC News. As the grip of the third wave of COVID-19 deepens, SME On Point features a young nurse who runs a small business that provides home-based care for COVID-positive patients. Nompumelelo Ndabula is desperate to expand this critical service, firstly, to save lives, and secondly, to create more jobs and income for those in need. The next insert is edited by Katleho Mokomele. Nompumelelo Ndabula is a registered nurse who works in the trauma unit, so saving lives is now second nature to her. This is why she's recently started a small business assisting COVID-19 positive patients. Among her patients are those who are recovering and those who are unable to get to the hospital at critical times.
I go to people's households, I assess their condition. The main thing is I provide oxygen to the patients because COVID, one of the side effects is shortness of breath. So most people struggle, they can't breathe, and most people don't have that access to oxygen. So the main thing is I provide home oxygen to patients, and I just assess how they are.
Ndabula has seen and experienced the devastating impact of COVID-19 in all its waves. She decries non-compliance, saying she's worried that people refuse to listen to the advice of health experts.
The first wave was not that bad compared to the second wave, and the second wave was unexpected. It came when we were not ready, and it also went down quite quickly. And then the third wave started. This one is one of the most aggressive waves that I've seen, because it's attacking everyone, whether you have vaccinated or not vaccinated. That's how aggressive this one is.
Ndabula works with a qualified doctor, and together they are able to offer professional analysis and a treatment plan to a patient or refer to hospital if necessary. She shares some of the necessary devices that one can invest in during this time, like the pulse oximeter, a small device that measures the level of oxygen in your blood.
So it's good for them to have this device because they'll know how bad the condition is, and you actually know how, when to seek when you need hospital treatment, because I also use a criteria. There's a certain point where I feel if your oxygen level is less than 60 and below, you definitely need hospitalization, because I can't take that risk and say I'll try to manage it at home.
As the demand for her services increases, Ndabula is looking for an extra pair of hands.
I'm hoping there'll be people who want us to fight this virus. I know there's still a long way to go. There's even talks about the fourth wave, which we don't know what variant it's going to come with.
Ndabula describes as fulfilling the feeling of leaving patients with hope that they will get better.
This is serious, and it's really sad at the way some people are just being negligent towards the whole thing, But we need to be responsible and look after ourselves.
Devasting, SABC News, Johannesburg. Thank you so much, Nompumelelo Ndabula, for sharing your services and stories with SME On Point. Remember, we are on Facebook. Our Facebook page is at SME On Point. Please do let us know what you think of SME On Point. COVID-19 has sent the world into a tailspin. This has had a devastating impact on the small business community. For the businesses who have survived, many changes have had to be effected, such as succession planning. So according to Rene Botha, Stellenbosch Area Manager at Business Partners Limited, the pandemic has opened our eyes to the fact that things can change in a second. Succession planning helps with the risk of sudden death, early retirement, or even dread disease. But let's chat to Rene now to get a better understanding of how you can start your succession planning in your business. Rene, thank you so much and welcome to SME On Point. Perhaps let's start with just a simple explanation of what succession planning really is.
Thank you for your time and thank you for allowing us to speak on this platform. Succession planning is a process for identifying and developing new leaders for your business. So it's to pass on the leadership role, which in most cases in small to medium-sized businesses are in the hands of the owners or other key staff members to other employers or maybe family members.
Rene, right now, unfortunately, I'm sorry to cut you there short. Right now, we're seeing that people are dying at a faster rate than we have ever imagined. Every single minute, literally, you get news that someone has passed on. In a case for someone that is in business, when is the perfect time to even start with this planning? Who do you speak to, and what kind of conversation should it be?
Look, I believe that the earlier you can start with your succession planning, the better. Even if you start with your business today, succession planning should be one of the top topics on your list of what you should do. Is what will you do if something happens to you tomorrow or to one of your key staff members. So it's never too late. Even for younger entrepreneurs, it is the time to start immediately with that. We all think it's only retirement or death, and that's something in future, but you have to start as soon as possible. So for me, it's a matter that you have to start identifying that person, one of your key staff members, and start taking them through the ropes as soon as, so that they can actually step into your shoes tomorrow when they have to take over, and the business can just go on as normal. That will definitely help with all this uncertainty. I think we all realize lately that, today we think this is the situation, but I don't know how many of us said to each other in the few days that we don't want to plan for anything in future, not even a holiday, because you don't know if it will happen and what will be the future on that. Yeah. And that will be the same for your business. Don't leave your staff members in dire straits when you pass on or get sick or something like that.
Yeah. Does succession planning in terms of handing over to your children or relatives, is it always necessarily a good idea?
Well, first of all, you have to speak to your family members or your children to make sure that they are interested in taking over the business. Not all children are interested in your baby of your business that you've started, and they don't necessarily want to take over. So I think you have to start speaking to them very early and to make sure that when they are at the stage where they would like to become part of the business, and see if they would like to take over. But remember, not everybody is good leaders. So your child might be one of the best employees within your business, but not necessarily taking the business to the next level or taking people with him or her to the next level. So that's something that you have to discuss with them very early when you start planning for this as well, if they obviously are at the age to do so. Yeah. But I will suggest that you involve a key staff member or a mentor to assist if they are interested. And obviously you have to make sure that the children, for instance, if there's more than one child in your family, that there's not later on any, for instance, family problems with one child taking over and the others not really can be part of the business. Yeah,
I can imagine that things like writing a will and having a will in place, a valid will in place, also plays an important part. But also added to that, can you take us through at least one or two businesses that you know of, maybe ones that we are all familiar with that have been very successful with regards to handing over to the next generation?
Well, I think if I can start off with one of our success stories in business partners is Mr. Rory Nkawe. Mr. Nkawe has various businesses in Dobsonville, Soweto. And over the years, he started from humble beginnings, and he has a petrol station, butchery, liquor store, and few franchise outlets. And he has grown this business empire to quite a big group of companies. Mr. Nkawe is now 77 years of age, definitely not retired, but his son has taken over, and he has prepared his son through. His son started from a very young age working in that business, and he has taken his son through the whole process of really being the leader and the new MD for that group of businesses. So that's one of the very nice success stories.
Sounds like a really nice story.
Yeah, it's a lovely story. And then here in Cape Town, I have a client, Hayes Motors. They also, the father started the business. And today his daughter Marissa is running the business. He's retired, and she is running the business very, very successfully. And I've taken it, I actually put it in the next league. So that's just two of many, many success stories that's out there. But I definitely think Mr. Nkowe is one of our entrepreneurs that we will always remember.
Look up to. Rene Botha, thank you so much for sharing those nuggets with SME On Point of succession planning and the importance of having a succession plan if you do have a small or medium enterprise or business, not only in the context of you in the event of suddenly dying, but also when you retire. Do you have a plan about what's going to be happening next? I'm sure you can go through a Business Partners Limited's website and to get a better understanding of how they can help you or advise you on doing this. That is all from SME On Point for this week. We'll be back again next week. But while we wait for SME Books on Point, I want to encourage you to please support small businesses in your community and also keep the rands and cents circulating around there. Up next is Books on Point with